Okay, in this video, we're going to cover the law of 100. Now, why I think this is very important to bring it up at this point is because I have seen that in my career that whatever happened, no matter what company I was in, that once my business, my organization, in a relatively short period of time, which I'm talking 6 months or so, had at least 100 people in it, the law of large numbers took over and the thing started to gather a life of its own, okay? Because the power of network marketing has always been about leverage. The problem is most people never push it past the hump, right? Like I've talked to you about this before, but you know, so if this was kind of your launch, I always talk about your effort level up here, or we're just making an E, and your results, right? The problem is most people never push it so it goes like this, right? Your hockey stick growth. This is what you're shooting for right here. But it only happens when you get to, you know, my opinion is between 100, 120 or so people in your total organization where it now has enough leaders, quote unquote, or people that are more active percentage wise, that it tips. So right here, you're putting all your effort up here, like I said. And again, the majority of people die in here. This is right here. We'll put an RIP for the Valley of Death. There's your RIP, rip, you get it, right? But what I want to point out is when I finally figured this out, I realized that if all I had to do is, that's why I've always tried to be a very, very good personal recruiter, because I'm impatient, okay? I want results faster than the majority of people have the patience to do it. So by using this stuff, I'm going to teach you some advanced things, because they're coming. But what I did is I looked at how many people I had to have in an organization, right? So I ran that. So in my opinion, my mind, I was like, if I have to recruit all 100, I'm going to do it, because I know that if I do that, at the end of that road is 6 figures, or 6 figures annually, or 6 figures monthly. Okay, let me ask you this: how hard would you work to put 100 personals in if you knew that no matter what, no matter the quality of those people, no matter what happened at the end of that 100, that you could quit your job, live the life of your dreams, and answer to yourself and nobody else? Okay, you know, remember I talked about the freedom number in one of the other earlier videos? That's what happens when you get a company, an organization to tip, okay? So how do we get there? And I'll give you the proof of this. I was in a company that I made this decision that I was like, okay, my freedom number is this in this company. And so what I did is I just started person recruiting. And I help anybody on my team, but the problem is a lot of people, when they sign 1 or 2 people, they put their manager hat on and they forgot what got them to 5 people. They forgot what got them to 10 people. And now their business doesn't grow necessarily because they were maybe more active and the people they brought in are extreme part-time people. So what you do is by recruiting. So anyhow, back to the company. So I went out and I recruited, and I was probably 3-4 months into this business, and I'd put in like 30 personals. And out of my 30 personals, my whole organization was like 42 people. So there was no duplication, right? And people are like, oh, that's, you know, da-da-da-da. I can't tell the duds from studs, zeros from the heroes, and I quit thinking about it a long time ago. So what I do is what I can control. Remember, focus on what you can control, not what you can't control. So what I did is I just stayed the course. I'm like, I'm going to recruit 100 people. I'm going to recruit 100 personals. I'm going to, you know, that kind of thing. So I get up to probably about 75 personals, and now I got a group of about 90 people. Not too bad. It's you know, it's growing, but again, not a whole lot of duplication. All of a sudden I recruit a handful more people, and like the following month I got up to like 80 some personals that I'd put in. Okay, and it really felt like I was just trudging along, getting it, but I was making money on fast starts, like I'd mentioned before in a couple other videos. But what happened is the following month it went from like 90 people, the following month it went up to 170. And at that point, it literally went like this. It was just a nice steady, and then, and just like a rocket ship, it went straight up, because the law of large numbers dictated and worked in my favor. Remember the power of one video, power of 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 32, 64, right? 32 total people in your 6 months doesn't look like a lot. All of a sudden 64, 128, 256, just on small numbers. But again, I didn't want to wait 6-7 months to get to that point. So in a few months I pushed. But what's cool is all those people that I'd put in then, some of them that I'd put in right when I started hadn't really matured. They hadn't learned a lot yet, and then they got more confidence. All of a sudden, 6 months down the road, they came to life too. Because the first training I ever went to, and I'm going to point this out to you, the first training I ever went to that I wrote this down, and I still have training down, what I wrote down, is you can't control how many tomatoes a tomato plant produces. You can only control how many tomato plants you produce or plant. Okay? You can't control how many tomatoes a tomato plant produces. You can only control how many tomato plants you plant. And I just never forgot that. So I never dictated whether I thought somebody was going to do something or not do something. So I just worked, became a very, very good recruiter, because there was another guy that I met in my career that had 20-some thousand people in his business. He was a few years younger than me. And I said, how are you doing? He says, how many people have you personally enrolled? I go, I think I got like 20 people. And he goes, look at my report. And this was paper back in the day when you had paper reports. And I look at his thing. He's got 82 personals in the thing. And he said, now look at the number of people they've each recruited in their business. And it was like 0, 5, 0, 0, 0, 0, 11, 0, 1, 1, 2, 5. And then he said, and then out of all those people, there was maybe 5% of them that were actually really working the thing. And he said, now go to those guys that have like 20 or more people and look at their numbers. So I go to theirs, and there was one guy had like 50-some people, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And then he had a guy that had sponsored 5, and another guy sponsored 15. And he said, basically, I just recruit. And then the ones that really mature faster than the others, but I don't wait. When I heard that, that was what I focused on with my career. So this is an important video for you to understand of getting to that law of 100, because now, understanding that, I'm going to show you the tips and tricks to get those eyeballs, more eyeballs in front of your business quicker using the tech that's out there. Okay, so thank you for watching this one. I'll see you on the next video.